This ambition never wavered during his teenage years when he was a three-sport star at University High School in North Oakland. Soon after leaving high school, he seemed well on his way to accomplishing his life's ambition when he signed with the San Francisco Seals of the Pacific Coast League. But after a brief stint with the Seals, he was released in 1931. It was a crushing blow. But Poles soon learned that life can indeed work in mysterious ways. Asked to look back on his illustrious high school coaching career during a 1985 interview, he said of the Seals, "They did me a favor because nobody could have had a better life. I wouldn't do it differently if I had to do it over again." When he started his high school coaching career at the Climbers in 1946, it would have been inconceivable to George Poles to hear that one day he would be considered one of the best high school coaches in America. He would have scoffed at the notion of being mentioned in Hall of Fame induction speeches. He wouldn't have dreamed that he would coach some of the best basketball and baseball players the world would ever see. And he definitely would never have believed that some of his players would shatter barriers that would forever change the world of sports. All of these blessings were his thanks for 30 years of teaching in the gyms and on the ball fields of Oakland. When asked about players that stick out in his coaching career, Poles put Bill Russell, Frank Robinson, and Curt Flood at the top of his list. Remarkably, he had the pleasure of coaching all three within a 2-year period at McClymonds. He just smiled and shook his head as if to say, how lucky can a guy get? He enjoyed telling how he came to coach Russell. Bill was in my homeroom class at Hoover Junior High. He played on the JV basketball team around 1950 or 1951 at Mac. When he was a junior, I sent him to the JV team so he could get more experience, but he got cut. So Bill comes to me and asks, "So coach, what do I do now?" Poles recalled that he kept Russell as the 16th man on the 15-man varsity. Poles recalled that he suited up every other game and played a little. He was only 6'2" then, skinny and awkward, and people hooted at him. Russell recalled that his life changed when Poles made that decision to keep him on the varsity squad. Russell said, "By that one gesture, I believe that man saved me from becoming a juvenile delinquent. If I hadn't had basketball, all of my energies and frustrations would surely have been carried out in some other direction." That summer, Poles gave Russell $2 and drove him down to the West Oakland Boys Club and got him a membership, and, according to Russell, he told me to play basketball every day. I was terrible, but Poles had faith in me as a person and didn't want to break my spirit. As a senior, Russell reported to practice with more coordination and standing 6'7". He played in every game as a senior under Poles, and before he graduated at midterm, Poles said, "Started doing things I had never seen, blocking shots and guiding shots into the basket." In Russell's last high school game against Oakland High, 2 fortuitous things occurred. First, he played his best game ever, scoring 14 points and blocking several shots. Second, former Oakland Prep and University of San Francisco player Hal DiGiulio was in the gymnasium scouting for USF. Based on what he observed that day, DiGiulio recommended the tall, gangly center from McClymonds High School to USF coach Phil Looper. At a MAC Awards dinner after the season, Poles sat at the same table with Wolpert and talked Russell up to the coach. Based on the testimony of DiGiulio and Poles, Wolpert provided Russell with the only college scholarship he was offered. That lone scholarship gave Russell a ticket to college instead of a job in a West Oakland steel foundry. So, that's just a sampling of the book. The book is a compilation of short stories, interviews, lots of historic photos, some that have never been seen before, and bios of every single athlete to come out of Oakland schools and neighborhoods and going on to play Major League Baseball, pro football, basketball, Olympics, golf, tennis, and more. So it has Oakland sports trivia in it, a section on the vintage team and vintage years of Oakland teams over a 150-year period. And it also has a map of very special sports sites throughout Oakland. You can jump in a car and drive around Oakland and you can feel it. So anyway, thank you for being here tonight.